Hey everybody, thank you for watching. This is another video, but I'm gonna start with this self-drive car. You see, it doesn't have a driver, it's just going by itself. In this video, I'm walking towards the Union Station. It's one of the biggest train stations here. I want to do a full video of the Union Station, but before I do that, I want to do this video to say a few things about why it's very hard living in California, mostly Los Angeles. Why it's so hard living in Los Angeles. Very difficult living here. And I'm going to talk about a few things, but while I'm doing that, I want you guys to enjoy the view. If you haven't subscribed my YouTube channel, please help me subscribe. My name is Jefferson. I have an accent because I'm from West Africa, Liberia, always representing. This is my face. So today video I'm starting around the city hall, and you have some federal buildings around here, courthouses, and this is the main part of downtown where they have all the government building. Yeah, okay, so I'm gonna get back to my topic. Why is it difficult living in Los Angeles? Why is it hard? Okay, first there are a lot of reasons why. Let me start with the first reason. Living here, first let me say some positive things before I start with that. The weather here is beautiful. There are a lot of opportunity here. Yeah, that's the reason a lot of people live here, but it's not what you think when you're living in Los Angeles. It's not what you think. A lot of people come here thinking that they will come here and just get opportunity, their life will change. It's not like that. It's a very difficult living here, but I'm going to talk about that in this video. The first thing I want to talk about, things are very expensive here. It's not just the living that is expensive. Everything is just expensive here. A little apartment in one of the poorest part of the city, Los Angeles, like Skid Row, for example, you can find an apartment for $1,500, and that apartment, it's probably the cheapest around here. $1,500 in where they have all the homeless people. So things are very expensive. Even going to the supermarket to buy some stuff, going to the grocery store, you'll see how expensive things look. A little thing, egg, chicken eggs, it costs around like sometimes $7 or more. Things that you buy in other places or in other states for very cheap, they are very expensive here. If you want to rent a house, maybe 2-bedroom, 3-bedroom house, it costs around, maybe the less you will pay will be maybe $2,500. Buying a house even in the city of Los Angeles around here, Silver Lake, Echo Park, all these places, if you go ask for a house around these places, you should expect anything from $800K to $1 million. And this is a true story. So it's really hard. And then paying your rent, and you don't just pay the rent, you don't just pay maybe for example you find a cheap studio for $1,500, but it's kind of hard to really find studio in downtown for $1,500. Maybe that studio doesn't have a kitchen. It's just a lot of things, and this is just one of the things that made living in LA so hard, difficult. Let me put it that way. Maybe you'll understand my accent, but there are so many things, and I'm gonna get into those things that are easy. This is one of the reasons when people will come to LA and they will get homeless, because it's not only the rent that people got to worry about. Your cell phone bill, it's very you got to pay a lot of money for a cell phone bill. You got to pay a lot of money for, sometimes when you are renting a place, maybe they're charging you $1,800 for a place. $1,800. You gotta pay. Sometimes electricity is not part of it. The internet is not part of it, and we all need internet nowadays. Besides the one you use on your phone, you need internet to read email, to do a lot of things on computer, like for work. And you have to pay for your internet, you got to pay for electricity, you got to pay for this, you got to pay for that, you got to pay for that. And now let me get to number two that made living in Los Angeles very difficult: the taxes here. I've seen people live in other states, and sometimes there is no state tax, but here when you receive your paycheck and you see all the taxes that they deduct, you can be like, wow, this is really crazy. But let me show you guys something. I'll get back to this, but this is the freeway. I think that's the 101 freeway here. I think 101. Yeah, this is the 101 freeway. Is that 101 or 5? It's not 10 for sure. Yeah, so I'm gonna get to the Union Station. I want to take my time to show you how downtown looks like, but I'll get back to the topic too. So yeah, the taxes here, you got to pay state tax, you got to pay federal tax, you got to pay property tax if you own a property. And it's not, all the taxes are not cheap. By the time when you work and you get paid, like just say $2,500 for your work, overall gross income for the month, you might receive about 1,000. By the time they remove all your taxes, you might receive maybe $1,700. And this is a true story, no joke. There's nothing wrong with paying taxes. It's just that these are some of the things that I'm talking about, because it's not just the federal tax you got to pay. You got to pay state tax, and all kinds of little taxes will get out of your pay. They got Medicaid, all these things that they deduct out of your pay. So by the time you get your paycheck, you were thinking 2005, maybe you will get maybe 2,100 to be able to cover your $1,500 bedroom rent, and you still need some money to take care of things. And at the end of the day, you can afford to pay for everything. And this is when people start taking all kinds of debt, all kinds of loans, payday loans, and this is one of the things that made living here difficult. I'm gonna keep talking about a lot of things, but I just want to let you know these are some of the things. I'm gonna go step by step as I walk to Union Station. The Union Station is not far from here, it's very close. That's where I'm going to do the video. But I wanted to talk about this topic because a lot of people don't understand, and they will come here and thinking that their dream can just come through the next day and things will happen for them, but they didn't know they have to go through a lot. And they come here and just get homeless. Some of them get frustrated, they start drinking, they start smoking. The next thing you know, their dream just die. But anyway, number two thing living in Los Angeles, what made living here very difficult, is the traffic here. That's another thing. So we are talking about what made living in Los Angeles hard or difficult, is the traffic. The traffic in LA is very tough one. Maybe I'll do individual video to explain this longer in details, or even interview people to give your point of view, so you know that what I'm saying here is real. The traffic, you know, even if you are living close to your work, maybe your work is like 30-minute drive away, I would strongly recommend leave your house 1 hour 30 minutes ahead of time. The traffic in LA, I think I showed you the freeway and you saw the traffic. We are around the rush hours, and the traffic here, you can plan on going somewhere in like and you're thinking that you'll get there in 30 minutes or 45 minutes, and if something happen, before you know it, the traffic is not moving at all. And this is one of the things that made LA so difficult to live. Every 10-minute drive that you want to do, before you know it, your 10-minute drive turn into 30-minute drives. That easy. Every day people getting into car accident and all kinds of stuff are happening, you know. And your insurance started going up. Insurance is another thing. Car insurance in LA is horrible because of the accident rate in this city. So insurance are way in the air. Another thing I want to talk about that may live in LA, since we are talking about car, the gas is very expensive in this place. The last time I checked gas prices, I think it was $5 or yeah, I gotta check again. But gas prices are in the sky, like everything else. You know, food expensive, gas prices expensive, insurance. I talk about insurance. Car insurance is very expensive because, especially when you're living in LA, because the accident rate is so high. Some people will be going to work running late and they want to cut everybody off. If you can drive in LA, I think you can drive everywhere. That's just my opinion. These guys are yelling at each other. Yeah, so this is a junior station across there, but I want to end this video around here. There are a lot of things that made living in LA just expensive. And another thing I want to talk about before I go, another thing that made living in LA expensive, if you cannot afford to live in a nice neighborhood, you get to worry about somebody breaking into your house, because there are so many desperate people in this poor neighborhood, like Skid Row, for example. You cannot park your car on the street at night. Somebody could break in it. It's not easy. So living in LA is so much that you can really worry about. And to live in somewhere like Beverly Hills, where it's very safe and you don't have to worry about anything, somebody breaking into your car or your house, you have to spend a lot of money. And I think to live somewhere around Beverly Hills, you need maybe like $2,500 a month rent. And if you don't have the right job, you cannot have that, because in order to live in a place that is $2,500 rent, you have to be making at least $5,000. And the reason is that if you're paying $2,500 rent, you have all the things to pay for. If you have a car, maybe you're paying $500 for that car. You have insurance. Maybe if you have a good driving record, maybe your insurance is around let's just say $250, for example. Let me just say, if you have some type of driving record or whatever, because LA insurance is too expensive. I'm just saying it might be even more. And then you have to pay for gas, and the gas in this place, like I say, is expensive. And by the time, and then your own food. And this is only when you are single, though. If you have a wife or children, that's another ball game. So these are some of the things, like, so you have to pay around $5,000 for you to be able to breathe, like to pay that $2,500 and still have $2,500 to handle a lot of things. You may not have a lot of saving there, but at least you are able to pay your bills. So yeah, so this is why living in LA is difficult. But when it comes to the weather, one thing again, strongly advise people at the end of this video, my biggest advice that I can give anybody before you move to LA, have some type of skill that will give you some type of job. Or maybe you are rich, from a very rich background, but don't just move to LA without having any kind of job, without just thinking that you will just come here and be successful. Maybe you want to be an actress or whatever, because that's the reason a lot of people come here. And don't just think that you can just come here and become just successful like that. It's kind of hard. You have to work harder. You have to have something, and a lot of people come here, they just boom, thinking that they will just come here, boom, they make it here. So anyway, I wanted to do this walking video, but I just didn't want to make this video boring, so I decided to talk. Now I'm gonna do my official video, the Union Station video, but maybe I'll post this one before the Union Station video. But subscribe my channel if you haven't subscribed, so you can see the Union Station. The Union Station is the biggest train station in this area. I think it's the biggest train station on the West Coast. All right, I'm gonna check that out. Thank you for watching. Bye bye.